the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. One Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokno, for any NPP members ne on my Ghana muha, Kukudam for Nana Chase, Aquapimo, Ghana, Yamashe, Bidefi, as I say, I'm not going to say NDC Minority Caucus, almost so Ewobi, Nancy Sam no say dignitaries, I hold one Biana Chase, including Inspector General of Police, Ura Akufo George Dampare, and also so Akupimo, Parliament, Ebi. Fast forward. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and then no say they were receiving the standing ovation ever. Just say a BNC or my Ghana Muhada. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo read the last State of the Nation's address. SONA, Meno say Nana Addo Akufo-Addo Koso. Na I could see Nana Addo Akufo-Addo State of the Nation's address already our Parliament, you know. In fact, achievement and Nana Addo Akufo-Addo was really a can now say pressure can see upon. And one mountain Eddie Ama a John Dramani Mahama any NDC Amenyukun because achievements and another Akufo-Addo everybody which they say since our resuming office 2017 the first term 2017 7th January now you're swearing in as president achievement and another Akufo-Addo in all sectors education sectors trade health sectors in fact another Akufo-Addo at the State of the Nation's address are already in Bobo achievements I can say no na we am you say na Addo Akufo-Addo so we me pop projects we and as a sectors we me boss to say handle enema wa hand bobo so dia na they compare 2012 to 2016 John Dramani Mahama and so dia ya and then the last State of Nations address anybody your handle or mine over Edman and Addo Akufo-Addo it's just a huge difference and aba or my Ghana muha and Nana Addo Akufo-Addo government. Meno kasa se the State of the Nations addresser Nana Addo Akufo-Addo egu akwamuno ama NDC amanyeko no o ma start eye hu se se in fact pressure kese ana abaye so if you say Nana Addo Akufo-Addo timi aye we no dia ene na yeso ye be the Ghanaians are expecting much from us observe for yekotie Nana Addo Akufo-Addo the State of the Nations address no na chese in fact osibi achievements why any the current state of the country Ghana. Emra.
Madam Alice Ajua Jonas.
Nation and place on record the Ghana I'm handing over to my successor. In accordance with protocol and convention, it is good to see that my wife, First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Vice President Mahamadou Bawumia, Second Lady Samira Bawumia, the spouse of Mr. Speaker, Mrs. Alice Ajua Jonas Bagben, Chief Justice Gertrude Tokno and spouse, and Justices of the Supreme Court, the representative of the Chairperson, Mr. Sam Okudzeto, and members of the Council of State, Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, the Honorable Akosua Frema Oseo Parry, and officials of the Presidency, Secretary to the Cabinet, Ambassador Mercy Deborah Karakari, Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Thomas Opong Pipra, the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu Dampare, and the various service chiefs are all present. The Speaker, the House is also duly honored by the welcome attendance of the former President of the Republic, John Agyekum Kufuor, former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, and the Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps. The Speaker, before I commence my message on the state of the nation, I want to put on record that I am deeply saddened by the devastating fire at Kantomanto Market, which took place yesterday, and has left many traders and their livelihoods in ruins. My thoughts and prayers are with those affected, and I extend heartfelt sympathies to the hard-working traders who have lost their goods and investments. Government stands with you and will work with relevant agencies to ascertain the causes of the fire and to provide the needed support. As a nation, let us unite in compassion and solidarity to help those who have suffered losses. Together, we can extend a helping hand to our fellow Ghanaians in need during this challenging time. Mr. Speaker, it is important to state at the outset that serving the Ghanaian people as president has been the greatest honor of my life. It has been one of great challenges and even greater triumphs, one that has demanded every ounce of my energy, commitment, and love for our beloved country. My vision has always been to see a Ghana that is self-reliant, prosperous, and united, a beacon of hope, democracy, and opportunity in Africa and beyond. That vision remains undimmed, and I'm confident that the strides we have made together will propel Ghana to even greater heights. Mr. Speaker, the first responsibility of a government is the safety and security of the state and its people. I'm happy to report that our country's territorial integrity is intact and all our borders are secure. In a neighborhood of widespread instability, it is no longer an assumption that we can make that our land will be safe and secure. Ghana, by the grace of God, remains the only country in the neighborhood that has not fallen victim to terrorist violence. It has taken a lot of concerted effort, and dare I say a lot of money, to enable us to protect our country from the ravages of the variety of terrorist groups operating and destabilizing other countries in the neighborhood. I wish to pay great homage to the security services and their ministerial leaders for the work they do every day to keep us safe. Mr. Speaker, it gives me no great pleasure to state that an important and integral part of the fabric of our society and the hallmark of our traditions, chieftaincy, continues to be a source of insecurity and destabilization. Upon coming into office, we worked hard with considerable assistance from the Committee of Eminent Chiefs, Otumfuo Asantehene, the Nairi, and the Yabonwura, to bring finally a resolution to the conflict which had blighted the ancient kingdom of Gabon for many, many years. Bringing peace to Gabon remains one of the high watermarks of my time in office, and I have been so looking forward to counting it with pride as the top of the list in resolving chieftaincy disputes and conflicts. Unfortunately, the sad situation in Boko must necessarily dampen any enthusiasm about the resolution of chieftaincy problems elsewhere. It is a matter of great regret and distress to me personally that in spite of our best efforts, the Boko conflict remains unresolved. Boko is unhappily not the only area of chieftaincy conflict. In judging from the experience of other parts of the country, I will have to mark chieftaincy as a growing source of insecurity that will continue to require a lot of attention. It is clear that part of that process is the need to strengthen the capacities of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs and the Peace Council, the two frontline institutions responsible for dealing with chieftaincy and other disputes. Mr. Speaker, in my inaugural speech at my swearing in my first term on 7th January 2017, and early on in that term, I made a public commitment to tackle galamsey, the phenomenon that had been ravaging our environment and destroying our lands and water bodies in the pursuit of mining our gold. I knew and was very much aware that fighting galamsey was not a universally popular position for a president to take. But I felt strongly enough about the need to protect our environment to say I was prepared to put my presidency on the line in the defense of our lands and water bodies. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, the fight against Galamsey led directly to the loss by my party of several parliamentary seats in the 2020 elections, and to the makeup of this 8th Parliament, which affected the implementation of my policy agenda and impacted the second term of my presidency. I welcome the many loud converts to the fight against Galamsey that suddenly appeared in the run-up to the 2024 elections. And I pray that more and more of us get to embrace the need for the protection of our lands and water bodies. As I have stated on numerous occasions, the fight against Galamsey is not a fight against mining or the extraction of the gold the Almighty has so generously endowed us with. But we owe it to future generations of Ghanaians to extract our minerals in a manner that protects our lands and water bodies. I'm happy to be able to say that we have implemented some of the boldest and most progressive policies in the mining, forestry, and land sectors. As a result of these policies, we overtook South Africa as the leading producer of gold on the continent and have consistently increased gold production to reach an unprecedented 4 million ounces last year. Not only have we revamped dormant mines like the Obuasi and Bibiani mines, we have also worked to deliver the Cardinal Namdi mine, the first large-scale mine in northern Ghana, and the first greenfield gold mines in our country in more than a decade, with the ongoing construction of new mines in Ahafo by Newmont and Upper West by Azuma Resources. To add value to these volumes of minerals, we have constructed, through a public-private partnership, a 400-kilogram capacity gold refinery here in our country. We have also concluded discussions with the parent company of Ghana Manganese Company Limited for the construction of a $450 million United States dollars manganese refinery at Nsuta. Moreover, the establishment of the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation has laid the groundwork for the industrialization of many of our natural resources. These entities are expected to generate significant revenue, create jobs, and enhance the value addition of our natural wealth. Each of these initiatives was guided by the vision to harness Ghana's wealth for the benefit of her people, ensuring a legacy of sustainable development for future generations. We continue to work to increase the forest estate of our country. Under the Ghana Forest Plantation Strategy, some 121,000 hectares of degraded forests were cultivated between 2017 and 2023. And under the Green Ghana Project, over 52 million trees have been planted in just 4 years of its implementation. In 2023, Ghana became the second country in Africa and the third in the world to receive results-based payments from the World Bank Carbon Fund for reducing emissions. Under the Ghana Cocoa Red Plus program, we have also completed all the necessary steps under the voluntary partnership agreement with the European Union. And effective June this year, Ghana will become the first African country and the second globally to issue forest law enforcement, government, and trade licenses. Mr. Speaker, if arguments still rage over what there is to show for the fight against Galamsey and the effects of irresponsible mining, there can be no such arguments about the introduction of the free SHS and free TVET programs. Another policy that did not have universal approval when I sought to introduce it on coming into office. However, I believe this is one of the rare occasions on which we can use the word transformational without any danger of abusing the word. We have transformed education, and there can never be a reversal, of the fact that some 5.7 million young people have gained access to secondary education who would otherwise not have had the opportunity but for free SHS and free TVET. Indeed, my administration has also prioritized technical and vocational education and training, TVET, establishing 34 new TVET institutions and upgrading 62 existing ones to equip our youth with 21st century skills. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud that we were brave enough to have started the free SHS policy at the beginning of my first term and resisted the calls for a gradual introduction. I'm glad that we've removed from the Ghanaian mindset the belief that secondary school education is only for people from certain households and families. From 2020, when the first cohort of free senior high school candidates sat for the WACC, Ghana has consistently recorded over 50% of candidates scoring A1 to C6 in all 4 core subjects. This marks a stark improvement compared to the years prior, particularly the period when pass rates in core subjects were largely below 50%. This year's results, the 2024 results, have maintained the laudable trend from 2020. Indeed, only 51.6% of candidates achieved A1 to C6 in English in 2016, compared to a much higher 69.52% in 2024. For integrated science, the pass rate improved from 48.35% in 2016 to 58.77% in 2024. Mathematics demonstrated the most dramatic progress, rising from a mere 33.12% pass rate in 2016 to an impressive 66.86% in 2024. Social studies followed a similar trend, improving from 54.55% in 2016 to 71.53% in 2024. Moreover, the 2023 WACC results stand out as the best in the history of the examination. No amount of shouts will displace data. It will not happen. The data is there. As the best in the history of the examination, with record-breaking performances across. It is obvious then that our reforms have not only expanded access, but have also enhanced the quality of education.